Prepare yourself, guys. Chris will teach with me this, and this is going to be a why are comedy spoof movies so bad video. Now, you know as well as I do that over the years lately that comedy spoof movies have not lived up to the hype as such greats of the past. I want to make this real quick. I want to talk about some great movies. Now, let's go over the list of some great comedy spoof movies over the past. Now, we have in 1980 you had Airplane. That's when I was born. That's probably why I was such a classic and the quintessential spoof movie. You have Airplane. You have 2000 Scary Movie. You have Spaceball, classic. You have Hot Shots. You have Young Frankenstein. There's Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Austin Powers. That's a spoof of the James Bond movies. You have Hot Shots franchise. Now Blazing Saddles. The list goes on and on and on and on. The Naked Gun. And even in more recent years, you got Hot Fuzz and Walk Hard. Now, those I'm going to put in the category, even though as of late, they weren't really all, they're not really that great. Black Dynamite. That's also another good one. Now, the Galaxy Quest. Perfect one as well. That was a great spoof movie of Star Wars, Star Trek fame. Now, but over the years, you've seen other attempts. Now, to me, I feel like as far as a franchise, Scary Movie up to Scary Movie 2 is probably the last real, good franchise. I think that ever since the Wayans brothers left that franchise, that's what started to hurt them. And in more recent years, let's talk about what's pretty much listed as the worst spoof movies. So you got, let's run down. I'm going to IMDb. And so right there off the bat, number one is Meet the Spartans. You have the disaster movie, epic movie, Vampires Suck, dance flick. Damon Wayans Jr. is in that one. That had to hurt. Now, Scary Movie is on the list, but Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2, I'm putting onto a good spoof movie list. Scary Movie 3 deserves it, and they're in order. Scary Movie 4, Scary Movie 5, yes, that's right, Date Movie. It started to get desperate after a while. Let's see, Haunted House 2, Superhero Movie. Now, I want you to remember that one because that's going to go into a point when I'm about to make The Starving Game. Let's see, Not Another Teen Movie. Movie 43, horrible. Repossess is on there. Let's see. Then they started to get there, and they go into older movies. They weren't all great back then, but the majority of them, they were more good than bad. So I'm gonna say that's pretty much my list for the worst ones. Now, here's a discussion that I was having with Sean earlier. Here's my theory on why a lot of these spoof movies have been terrible as of late. Now, listen to what the movies from the classic movies from the past were versus what they are today. Now, when you go back to the best movie listing, now you have, let's go back. You have movies like Robin Hood, Men in Tights, obviously making fun of like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, things like that. No Robin Hood movies. Look at the budget of a Robin Hood movie. Now you got Robin Hood, Men in Tights. I don't know if it's going to tell me what the budget is. You probably had like a less than a $10 million budget. Let me use this as a Robin Hood, Men in Tights budget. $20 million budget. $20 million to make that movie. Now, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, $48 million budget. The Adventures of Robin Hood, $2 million. Okay, so Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, $48 million. Robin Hood, Men in Tights, $20 million. Like, half the budget. Pretty much half the budget. Almost. Give or take marketing. Now, you have a movie like superhero movie. Superhero movie budget. Superhero spoof movie budget. Let's look this up. Superhero, $35 million. Now, what movies were they making fun of? X-Men. That's what stands out the most. X-Men movie budget. Let's look that up. Now, you all probably know where I'm going with this. $35 million for that piece of trash. X-Men movie budget. $75 million. Oh, I didn't know that. $75 million to make X-Men. Wow. And then to make X-Men X2, the budget went up to $110. X-Men 3. I didn't know that these movies were less than $200 million back then. That tells me a lot right there. X-Men 3, 168. You're already shooting way past more than half of the movie, half of the budget. You got a movie that's budget was over $100 million, and look at the special effects that they were able to pull off. And that was in the year 2000. Now, let me go back. Superhero movie came out in 2008. By 2008, Iron Man was coming out. Iron Man. $140 million. Let's let that be the standard right there. Iron Man 2, $200 million. We were already getting into the let's put some real money into this stuff territory. $140 million for Iron Man. Superhero movie. $35 million. And the problem is they're trying to stretch out and make fun of multiple movies. Look at the budget. You're not going to spend this much money on a spoof movie. You'd be stupid to do so. But look what they're aiming at. Back in the day, you had Airplane, whatever they were spoofing, and Robin Hood Men in Tights, whatever they were spoofing. The budgets were close. The scenery, the paying of the actors, and getting the special effects or the practical effects out of the way. You weren't really going above and beyond. You could pull it off. And it doesn't have to be 100% on them. I look at Spaceballs. But yeah, the budget for Spaceballs was lower than Star Wars. But they were able to, but they were in a time where they could use almost the same amount of money to pull off similar special effects to make the movie not. Of course, it's still a spoof movie, but let me go back. Let me use that as the example. But let me finish my thought. To the point where if you're going to try to make fun of an Avatar movie, you're talking about making spoofing a movie and other movies similar to the time that were coming out at the same time that were budgeted over $200 million plus to make. James Cameron's special effects to make that movie look so good were going to be just on point. Any spoof of that, you're probably going to be using $5-10 million to get the makeup and all that stuff, pay your actors and all that, and then you're only going to be making fun of them in a couple of scenes. It's going to look like crap. So if you're not depending on good writing or good comedy and everything, then your special effects are suffering because you're not going to come anywhere near that budget. This is my theory on why some of these spoof movies are failing. They're aiming, the target is already moved too far ahead of you. Even some of these comedies or these romance movies that they were making, the quality of films and the actors that they were paying and getting stuff done. I mean, the Will Smith and Hitch and all this stuff. I mean, everybody was moving towards a high budget movies anyway. So spoof movies weren't really scratching at any itches anymore. Scary movie and whatnot, yeah. And now horror is now starting to make a little bit of a comeback of as far as good quality thanks to Blumhouse for the most part. And it's like, oh, okay, dude, I don't need to make. But you can make fun of a Blumhouse film because they keep it low budget. You can strike the target or come closer to the target than you would trying to make fun of an Avatar or an Iron Man or an Avengers superhero movie like that. You're like CM Punk said to The Rock, your arms are just too short to box with God right now. So why are you attempting this kind of a fight? Or it just doesn't make any sense. The target is moved too far ahead of you. It's too far down the road. It's too high above you. Why try? Spoof movies are not in the same playing field anymore. At least back in the 80s and the 90s, budget-wise, they were close. So let's look up the budget for Spaceballs. $22.7 million. Let's look up Empire Strikes Back, because that was probably around the same time right there. And Jedi. No way. That can't. It says the budget for Empire Strikes Back was $18 million. It costs more money to make Spaceballs. Return of the Jedi. $32 million. You see, even with Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, Spaceballs was right there within $10 million of both of them, ahead of the budget, it looks like, of Empire, but within striking distance of Jedi, and it was making fun of both of these films. Now you take the fact that it's what, $4 million ahead of Empire Strikes Back, so that's you bring that down to $22 million. Six. I'm sorry, I'm doing the math wrong. That's like a $6 million little difference right there. Oh my goodness! So even when you combine Empire and Jedi, you see where I'm going with this. It's still, one movie was still kind of in striking distance financially, and it could make fun of multiple movies. So you don't even have to combine the budget of Jedi and Empire. You can still go with one of those budgets. And I'll stick with the Jedi one. The $32.5 million to make Jedi. $22 million to make Spaceballs. It made fun of both movies, pretty much. All three, really. But let's look at the most expensive budget. $32.5 million. It was $10 million off. So the special effects were going to be close. It weren't even trying to be that accurate. It didn't have to be. It was funnier to make it a little less budgety and to make the effects look stupid. The lightsaber versus that little Schwartz ring, the Force and the Schwartz. Of course, you do dial it down on purpose. But the point is, they were still playing in the same field. Yeah, it was major leagues and minor leagues, but they were still in the same field. They were still in the same ballpark. Nowadays, you're trying to box with God. You're nowhere near that budget. And now you're trying to make fun of multiple movies. You got your Avengers, your X-Men, your Deadpool, your Spider-Man. And you're trying to, and you got what, $30 million budget? And you're trying to compete with, I've already named movies that's pretty much like over $700 million of production right there. You think your $35 million budget is going to come anywhere near? The costumes are going to look bad. The comedy would have to be so far up on point. I mean, even back in the day when Scary Movie was without the Wayans brothers, they had Kevin Hart, one of the number one comedians out right now. But this was before anybody thought he was any good. I wasn't a Kevin Hart fan when Scary Movie 3 came out. I didn't think he was funny in Soul Plane. Go back to it now. I can see the genius of it because he built his name up and whatnot. You think they could afford Kevin Hart now? No, it's not gonna happen. So everything suffers, and that's why these spoof movies have been less quality, no good, and nowhere where they should be to even try to attempt boxing with godlike movies. So that's my opinion on why these spoof movies have suffered. Or what is your opinion? What do you think? Am I way off basis? Am I totally forgetting about the editing, the lighting, the producers, the directors, the actors that are in these movies? Oh, don't get me started about these actors. And will there ever be a day when these spoof movies will ever come back again? Let me know what you guys think. Hit the comments. Put it in the box. Hit the like button. Thanks for just, I guess, taking the time to listen to me rant about this. I want to know what you guys think about this. Until next time, we can finish this some other time. So until next time.